So in this video, I want to show you how a compressor is working. I decided to use the Native Instruments solid bus compressor. So it's like the standard compressor and it makes it easy to understand the work of a compressor. So on the one hand, for example, we have the threshold, the makeup, the attack, the release and the ratio. So I will show you a little bit what's going on. So I think first it's very important to hear like the rough signal to understand, okay, how is the sound and what are we currently hearing. So that was the rough signal of our acoustic guitar. And now let's understand the threshold. The threshold says, okay, at which volume level should this machine start to react? For example, when I put the threshold on 20 dB, we will have currently minus 8.4 dB. This machine won't react. So the sound is completely, there's no difference. So how can we make this machine react? So we can have a look at our acoustic guitar signal. It's currently at minus 8.4 dB. So that this machine will react, we should put a threshold like at 10 dB, like this. Okay. And that means, okay, always when the signal is louder than minus 10 dB, in this case like minus 8, this machine will react. And for that instance, I will show you. So currently the ratio is super strong to hear that the machine is reacting. So that's the threshold. To make it like a little bit more in detail, the threshold we can imagine like this. We have a kind of line, that's our threshold, and we can put it up like this way. And when we have the threshold, we can see, okay, this is, for example, now minus 10 dB and minus 8 dB was the guitar signal over there. And that means like this signal, which is above the line, will be compressed. So that was the threshold button. So how can we use, for example, this makeup gain? So because these are usually the most important buttons you can use to say how should this machine react. So when we have a look at the makeup gain, you can see that there's a lot of signal which is below our threshold, and to have like a constant loudness, we can use this makeup gain to higher the volume in the back right here. For example, when I show you, we get like a more constant sounding. So currently I'm really overreacting with this machine. It sounds horrible, but just to show you the impact of what these buttons are doing. So in this case, the makeup gain is at 8.7 and currently we have no dynamics, no feeling, everything is destroyed, it's just loud. So that was the makeup gain and the threshold. So let's go over to the ratio. The ratio is just the button to say when you look at this VU meter, it's like how strong this compressor should react. And for example, currently it's like super strong, and what we can use is like usually like 3-1, something around this. Depends on the track and on the levels over there and how it should sound in the end. So let's check it a little bit, and when we just use like a usual compression with these 3 buttons we have right there. So now currently we have a very fast compressed signal, and for the time we have now these two buttons. So the attack says, okay, when should the compressor start to react? So for example, you can use like different kinds of time settings. Let's show it right here in the graph. So the attack is, for example, this line. So currently when we put the attack quite fast, the compressor will start directly. So when we put the attack slower, the compressor will start to react over here, or when we put it very slow, the compressor will start over there. So, and the release is something like how long should the compressor work. So should it switched off directly right here that we just cut off, for example, the small transients, or should it stop like really in the end to have like a really long compressed wave file? And yeah, that's the thing. On the one hand, the threshold. The second, the makeup gain for the signal to make it like really undynamic. Then the attack, how fast should the compressor start or work, and how long should the compressor be active. So these are now these two buttons. So let's have a look to the attack time, and when we put the attack a little bit slower, it will be always more musical. So now you hear like the compressor is not reacting so fast, and it's not cutting off the very big transients. It's just making it smooth and like, yeah, nice to hear without any big peaks in it. So compared to the fast attack, it's directly taking the transient in the front. It sounds like pumping. So currently we have like a very long attack, which makes it just more musical for the sound, and the guitar is like, yeah, one level of the kind of loudness, because we're reducing the more or less the louder peaks above our threshold. Then makeup gain the slower or lower signals, use a slow attack that it's not directly cutting off and pumping, and in the end we use right here like a short release so that the guitar is not getting like too thin or something. But let's have a look at the release. So for example, how long the compressor should work. So this kind of VO meter, you can see like the reaction, how long should it take. So you see the small needle right there will last longer when you put the release time very fast, very long. So as you see, as longer you put the release, so the sound is getting a little bit more thin. And yeah, that's the thing in the end. So let's summarize it a little bit. So in the beginning, threshold. When should the compressor start? And level up the lower signals. Then how strong should be the compressor? At which time the compressor should start to react? And how long should this machine work? And let's try to give like a small overview how it could sound, like that it's smooth, and let's see. So I think in this way it works very nice for the acoustic guitar with these settings. So let's compare it without the compressor. as you see, when you put up the threshold and not enough makeup gain, you will also lose a little bit of the volume. So that's the reason why you have the chance always to put it up a little bit more, that it's like more to the not compressed signal. So now in this kind of settings, we have a very constant guitar sound without any harsh peaking in it. And that's it, how to use a compressor. Thank you very much.